So George, obviously looking back on the weekend, a testing defeat. What are your thoughts looking back on that one?
Yeah, it was a tough game. I thought Leicester were very clinical in what they did. Played a very simple game plan, but just kept putting the pressure back on us and back on us, and we created some good opportunities early on, and we probably needed to take those at the beginning of the game to set ourselves up for the rest of the game. And we've had a good look at that. We felt we had a competitive advantage in a couple of areas, albeit it was going to be a very tough game, and we didn't maximise that.
Yeah, you mentioned Leicester taking their chances, and it's really important, isn't it, in Premiership rugby, and something that this group can learn a lot from.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they played a simple pressure game. I don't think they played past about two phases the whole game. So they just crashed it up and kicked it, and we had a plan to try and take advantage of that, but I say we didn't quite execute it, and their pressure built, and a couple of spilt balls, and they scored some tries. So it is a good lesson for a lot of people. I think they're a good team. They're going to get better and better as the season goes on. But I thought the physicality, especially some of the young lads there fronting up, with the physicality level of some of the carriers from Leicester was very good. Very confrontational team, and didn't do much damage in terms of smashing through our defensive line. So take that as a big positive, because they've had a lot of good results with that. But yeah, look, ultimately we're disappointed, and it was a tough one.
Yeah, you mentioned some of the young lads there, and they're going to take a lot from coming up against the likes of Pollard and Visa, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I think George going up against Pollard was real experience for him. He's learnt a huge amount from it. The composure that Pollard showed and just stuck to the plan, and kept lumping the pressure on was pretty much as good as it gets. And like you say, Clem's having a really good start to the season for us, but to go up against World Cup winner and someone like Visa is really good for his growth as well. So same with Freddie Thomas and Liebenberg. Some good guys for them to have played against at the top end, and some lessons learned.
And obviously they want to be taking that now, don't they? And building off that, and doing that to other people themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you've got to live it and feel the power of some of these blokes to really understand it. But like I say, I thought the physicality, and I include George in that, to be fair to him. I think the physicality they showed was outstanding. But yeah, I think Leicester ultimately managed their way through the game better than we did.
Yeah, and away from rugby as well, obviously, to play for the Slater Cup, Ed and his family here, it was a brilliant occasion, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a really good occasion. It really good to see Ed, and I think him coming up and smiling and enjoying the day with lots of old friends, and his two clubs. Real special day, and we obviously that will be a tradition now going forward forever. But lovely that Ed could come out and show his support for it, and we can all show our support for him.
And looking ahead to this week, then obviously Bristol away, a West Country derby, so plenty of motivation in that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you say, West Country. It's from my understanding of the older supporters, it's the traditional derby, but yeah, it's a tough place to go. It's definitely they're actually playing some good rugby, albeit they haven't won for the same amount of games as us. They've played some good rugby. They pushed Sarries close, so it'll be a real tough challenge. But it's different opposition to what we played last weekend. But be a tough game again.
Yeah, and you were obviously disappointed after the derby here against Bath. So I guess the boys will have plenty of motivation to go out and sort of put some pride back in that jersey.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think it matters if it's a derby or not for us at the moment, to be honest. I think we're all hurting. Mondays are not that enjoyable at the moment, which is the way it should be when you lose. But look, I think the fact it is Bristol is great, and I think it'll be a good occasion. But I think for us, the focus is solely on us at the moment, and making sure our game's right, and like you say, taking those chances that we did create, because if you take those, you win games.
Yeah, and obviously you mentioned Bristol have some X-factor players themselves. What have you been speaking about this week going into that a crucial game?
I mean, Bristol play a lot of rugby. They play wide to wide, and but they have got a good kicking game and a good set piece as well. So there's a lot of threats there. But as I say, they're not. Leicester were very direct. Couple of phases, kick the ball. Couple of phases, kick the ball. Bristol will play more than that, and try and use, like you say, they've got some X-factor players out wide. They'll try and use those. They've got some very impressive centres, which they've brought in this year. So it's they've got a good attacking game.
Cheers, George.
Cheers.